Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about the most frequent issues that you might have while trying to make maps for Dusk. First one on the list is missing textures in-game. To be specific, if your textures look like this, then you probably need a palette file, which you can find either in the description, or if you visit the Newblood server, you can find the palette file in the pinned messages of the DUSK.wad channel. To make your textures show up, you need to go into your mod folder. I'm going to be using Trespasser, so like Dusk SDK MNT local, Trespasser, and then put the palette file inside of that folder. Not in the maps folder, just the mod folder. If your textures are still missing, then try adding all the WADs that you are using in your map as well into your folder. Here I'm going to show you how exactly to add the DUSK.wad into Trenchbroom. So open your map, click Face, then in the bottom you can see Texture Collections, click Show, then press the plus sign and just select the DUSK.wad. Now I'm going to show you what to do if you load up Trenchbroom, load up DUSK.wad, and your textures look like this. First of all, get the palette file if you haven't already, go into any folder, then make a folder called ID1, exactly like that, case sensitive. Inside make a folder called GFX, case sensitive as well, and put the palette file into it. Then in Trenchbroom, click View, Preferences, and select the Quake game path as the folder that has the ID1 folder. In my case, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit apply and the textures should work fine. If they still don't work, you can get a shareware Quake pack files and put them into the ID1 folder. Then you have the same result. If you happen to be using the Necro's compiling GUI and the map doesn't compile, just keep in mind that the compiler really doesn't like when there are spaces or non-English or non-numerical characters in your path file name. Just remove any of those if you have them and it should be good. If you start up your map and it crashes immediately, then you're probably using an entity that's crashing your map. Like for example, Object Teleporter is confirmed to crash maps in startup. So just delete anything that you've placed recently and see if it works. So how do you add Dusk entities into your map? Well, simply place any entity and open an entities.txt file, which you can find in the description. This contains all the entities that Dusk can use. So for example, if I want to add, let's say, a rat, I'm just going to copy this name, then go select the entity, select the entity tab, and in class name, I'm just going to replace air bubbles with monster rat. Even though this looks like a gray square, it's going to show up in game just fine. You can also change the health of any enemy by simply adding a health property and changing it and setting it to whatever you want, like 157. If you start the map and some of the objects look white, then simply restart it. That's it. In order to add a custom skybox to a map, we're going to need a cube texture like this. Then split it up into 6 parts and put it into our mod folder in the textures folder. So for example, local, Trespasser, textures, and then all of the textures are here under different names. Then go into Trenchbroom and onto your world spawn entity, so just click escape or click onto any brush. Just add several properties called sky up, sky front, sky back, sky left, sky right, and if you are using the bottom part of the skybox, also use sky down. My sky down never shows up in my map, so I'm just going to ignore it. Then as the value, just type in textures / and the texture and the name of the texture that relates to the side of the cube that you're using. Just keep in mind that currently, as of August 25th, left and right are swapped, so swap the textures accordingly. If you're using version of DUSK.wad that has black background on transparent textures, then simply get yourself a transparent version of the same WAD. It will be in the description. All the transparent textures start with a bracket and look like this in editor.